Hey everybody, a couple hours ago the USBC released their new rules and specifications for bowling balls manufacturing and some stuff that it's some manufacturer stuff they're going to have to worry about and some pro shop stuff that they're going to have to worry about. There's already been a lot of people getting excited or wound up about this. I've got the press release in front of me, which you can go read at bowl.com. They also have a video about it on USBC's YouTube channel. The video actually has some stuff the press release doesn't, but we're just going to talk about some stuff and try to break it down and make it as simple to understand as possible. There's not a whole lot in here that I think is really going to affect much. That's not going to practically affect something. The manufacturers are going to have to make some adjustments. The pro shops are going to have to make some adjustments. But what is actually going to trickle down to you, or what you're going to have to be concerned with, isn't really much of anything. So I think there's a lot of people getting excited and wound up about stuff that really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna try to explain this as simply as possible. First of all, there's a new specification for oil absorption rate, and that's something that is just used by the manufacturers when designing bowling balls. It's my understanding that basically the stronger a cover stock is, the faster it absorbs the oil, which basically helps with traction, helps to keep as fresh of a cover as possible. I don't know which balls meet specifications. I don't know which ones don't, but that's going to have to be something that we're gonna figure out. We don't have information on that yet. The manufacturers have been sent testing procedures, and it's something that they're also starting here pretty soon. It's actually this summer, I think, August 1st, 2018. So here in a couple months, they're going to start being required to submit oil absorption ratings or numbers or whatever to USBC when they send them the ball to be examined in the first place to make sure that it meets their specifications. So until we have more information on that, I'm not going to get too far into the oil absorption rate. So we're going to skip over that. We're going to go to the balance holes. Basically, balance holes used to be, or weight holes, used to be used to help meet the 1 ounce of static weight. They used to be, you could have 1 ounce, the one side of the ball could be heavy, 1 ounce heavier, up to 1 ounce heavier than the other side, or the finger side, the thumb side. They wanted it as close to zero as possible. So they used to think that too much side weight would make the ball hook more, which doesn't really logic, it doesn't really math, especially with how strong the bowling balls are now. A couple of extra ounces in a 240 ounce bowling ball is not going to do anything. So I think that's just going to be people accepting that or conceptualizing that, because that used to be static weights used to be a really big deal 20, 30 years ago, and it's not a deal now. So basically what they're doing, they're eliminating weight holes, because weight holes can be used to alter the reaction of bowling balls post drilling. I'm not going to get into that. That's another time for another thing, but just to keep it as simple as possible, weight holes are not just used for making the ball legal now anymore. They're used to kind of adjust the way that the ball rolls. And so in eliminating weight holes, they're also upping the static weight limits to 3 ounces, which is going to be really easy to hit. In the past, trying to hit that 1 ounce would kind of limit your layout choices a little bit, because of how big of a weight hole that you're going to have to drill, how deep of a weight hole you'd have to drill with some certain layouts. But now the 3 ounces is going to be really easy to hit, so it's going to give you more layout flexibility in the first place, which kind of eliminates the need for a weight hole anyway. There's some higher level stuff that we could talk about there, but that's the basic thing on that, is don't have to worry about making a ball legal. You don't have to worry about, you shouldn't have to worry. Let me put it this way. 3 ounces are really easy to hit. You shouldn't worry about taking a ball to nationals anymore and having them say, well, this ball is illegal, I have to put a hole in it now. 3 ounces should be really easy to hit for everybody. So it should clear up some worries and stuff. They actually kind of simplified that and made that a lot easier. So that's nothing you should really have to worry about anymore. Now the static weights, they're giving you some chances to stagger stuff, because there are a lot of people out there that do currently have weight holes in there. They have some motion holes. They have some different drillings, like the tri grip or the wee grip, which I'm also not going to go into. It's just extra holes to kind of have several different layouts on a ball in effect. So basically what they're saying now is that every single hole you have in the ball has to be used for a gripping hole on every single shot. So even some of you no-thumbers or the two-handers that throw one-handed at your spares, you can't do that anymore. You can as long as you have a specific ball for that, but every single ball that you throw has to be, all the gripping holes have to be used every single time. So you could throw one ball with 2 fingers for the first shot and then go to a different ball that has 3 fingers that you use all of those for the spares. So that's nothing to worry about there either. You might have to plug some holes. Going back to the absorption thing, I was going to say that they're grandfathering everything in. That is approved by USBC by August 1st, 2020. That's when the new rules take effect. So if it is approved by USBC before August 1st, 2020, you can use that ball from now until forever. It's getting grandfathered in. There's no time limit or time frame. So if you have it now, you're not going to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of new bowling balls because they changed this rule. So don't worry about that. That's not a problem either. All right, next thing. You're only going to be allowed to use a dry towel to clean bowling balls during competition, and that takes effect August 1st, 2019. So you got a year on that. I've had some people concerned about chamois and stuff. What does a towel mean? A towel is a towel. So as long as it's a dry towel, you use it to wipe oil off, you're going to be fine. As long as it doesn't have any unapproved substance on there or foreign substance or whatever they want to call it. As long as it doesn't have any stuff on there that you're using to affect the reaction of your bowling ball, then we're fine. You can also only use cleaners now before or after bowling. You can't use them during competition. So what this means is, well, I guess what the deal with that is there's some cleaners that have stuff in there to either make the bowling ball surface a little bit tackier or a little bit smoother or a little bit slicker, I guess. I don't ever use them, but there's some out there that can alter the bowling ball's performance during bowling, and so they're trying to eliminate that. They also are not going, in addition to that, they're also not going to let you drill any grip holes deeper during bowling, which is a new one on me. I haven't heard that before, but drill depth can affect core dynamics, which affects how the ball hooks. Just to keep that simple again, we could get as far into that as you want to get into that too. But to basically kind of wrap this up, oil absorption rates, that's going to be something we're not going to have to worry about. I imagine the cover stock strength is going to get a little bit weaker, but they're still strong, super strong. I don't imagine that we're going to have to worry about something like the Codex, which is still super strong. I imagine as bowling ball, the aggression of cover stocks kind of gets dialed back, the oil volumes and the oil length and all that nonsense is kind of going to get dialed back too. So you're not really going to see any super huge effect. Personally, I don't think that a whole lot of this stuff is going to really affect you because it's all going to kind of it's kind of working in tandem to try to rein the thing back in. So I don't think that you're going to see a whole lot of difference. The weight hole thing is just going to have to be something that pro shops are mainly going to deal with, or if you are up on layouts and stuff like that, I think it's going to simplify stuff. I've never been a fan of messing with weight holes any more than I have to. If I need one, cool, but I don't. Most of the layouts are the layout, the one singular. The layout that I use usually doesn't need one, so there's no reason to mess with them as far as I'm concerned, and this makes it a whole lot easier to begin with. Oil absorption stuff, we're going to have to wait on the manufacturers to kind of explain that. If they do explain it, if not, all you need to know is that the ball's legal. It doesn't have to go any further into it than that, and starting August 1st, 2020, everything that comes out from then is going to be legal, so that's nothing to worry about. Dry towel just means that you can't use just a towel, can't use cleaner during bowling. You can use it before and after. Some people have asked, what if I get a big old smudge on it or some belt marks or something on it? What am I going to be able to do? Because that's most of what people use the cleaners for, is to get junk off the bowling ball when it comes back with it. So I don't know how they're going to address that. And I'm not entirely sure that we're going to have to see. It's going to be an interesting kind of adjustment because, again, a legal ball, even if, in my mind, okay, to preface this, in my mind, it has a lot more to do with oil volumes and viscosity than it has to do with bowling balls. Just because bowling balls have gotten stronger, it used to just be a tool for those who have higher speed or don't have a high rev rate to kind of help them get the ball to hook. You never used to see higher rev rates or slower ball speeds throwing them because they couldn't throw them. But as the bowling balls increase, the strength of the bowling balls increase, for some reason that means that, okay, well, let's put more oil on there. Well, now you have 500 rev rates throwing Sherlocks and stuff that they have no business throwing. It doesn't make any sense. So basically you use less oil. People use less reactive bowling balls because obviously you want to strike, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to throw super strong balls in oil conditions where the ball's constantly crossing over. So the whole idea is make the bowling balls weaker, which will allow the oil volumes to kind of come down, and the viscosities. Some of the Kegel ice is really thick stuff. It's got a really high viscosity. And so it plays slicker than some other oils with a lower viscosity. That's also for something else. And I'm getting a little rambly here, so I think I'm going to go on ahead and cut it off so that we don't really just confuse anybody else. But basically, I think that they're kind of doing it backwards. I think that if they would have just stuck to their guns, as the oil volumes increased, people started throwing more aggressive balls with more aggressive surfaces, which beat the oil pattern up quicker. And the whole reason for this in the first place is that they're trying to get it to where oil patterns will hold up better and will hold up longer, so that you don't see these insane loft fests like they've had in the PBA. But in my mind, if a pattern is dry, the pros pull out urethane. They pull out whatever enables them to score, and if they're on a super high volume or a super long pattern, they're going to use aggressive bowling balls with aggressive surfaces to get the ball, to get some friction, to read, to actually hook. So in my mind, it all starts with the oil volume. It doesn't end with the oil volume, or the reducing the ball strength is not it's not a means to an end. It's an end to a means, or whatever. It's backwards. I just say that it's backwards. So there's not a whole lot to worry about here for anybody. I really don't think. It's going to be stuff, like I said, for pro shops to worry about, manufacturers to worry about. You shouldn't have to worry about it much. I don't think it's really going to affect much of anybody one way or the other. I don't think you're going to see much of a difference. I don't see any reason to fly off the handle or get super excited about anything. You might have a little bit of cost in there with plugging some weight holes and some stuff, but this is also 2 years from now. I'm not going to be using stuff except for a very few bowling balls in 2 years. So by the time this stuff actually goes into effect, anything that you have weight holes in or an extra thumb hole in or whatever, you're probably not going to be using by then anyway. So from now on, just try to start drilling stuff without extra holes. You can get a jump on this now with all the new equipment that you drill between now and then. And all the other stuff that you might be upset about having to plug, you're probably not going to be using in 2 years when this takes effect anyway, so it's nothing really to worry about. That's going to be it for this video. Like I said, I don't think anybody really has much to worry about. You can ask me questions if you need to. I'll try to answer them. I kind of said everything that I had to say there. If you want some clarification, I can probably do that. There's some information that we're going to be waiting on. But I don't think that there's really... I was just doing this because a lot of people got a little bent out of shape about stuff, and it didn't really seem like they understood what was going on. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. So I think, if anything, a few things are going to be made a little bit simpler, and you're not going to see much of any kind of changes at all. You're not going to experience them. So never to fear. Don't worry. Like I said, if you have any questions, just ask them. Thanks for watching.